for the permission to kill people.
There was no permission granted, but I can't stop you.
You, as I've been saying this entire time, you do you, boo boo. I'm just here for a good time, not a long
I'm
time.
being encouraged. I just thought
Says
my fellow players should know.
whatever, says whatever thing you're fighting. Um, but welcome back. Last time we left off, Corvus, Eden, and Perrin journeyed farther down past where even the lowest reaches of Deep Well dwelt to search, excuse me, for the Mortal Hands hideout. They found a series of hidden tunnels that zigzagged down to where the crest of Ecriom meets the Underdark. There, they found a handful of paths and were led through a vision down a dark, necrotic hallway. There, they encountered skeletal hordes, a mummy, a deathly skeletal snake-like creature, and last but not least, a zombie beholder. All of which they either dispatched or ran away from quickly before entering through Dolus's secret entrance. There they found his home, or his abode, where they had a chance to rest while they waited for Dolus to make the final preparations and for the official start of the siege of the Mortal Hand stronghold. Eden made some concoctions. Corvus took time to meditate and think about what was going on. And Perrin snooped around as Perrin does, discovering that within the paperworks of Dolus was a plot to, maybe not so much a plot, but research into the effects of immortality and how one who is magically inclined could go about such a process. They, after a short time in this room, in Dolus's chambers, are greeted and given directions to where Dolus was housing or would be holding Nathaniel Hawthorne, his father. Within moments, you hear shuffling of feet, moving of arms and men as what sounds like the first batterings of the rest of Deepwell, now rallied against the Mortal Hand, have finally reached the stronghold and are beginning to besiege it. You all are now in Dolus's chambers, the door open, the pathway in front of you looking straight out. A small hallway ends with a left and right on either side.
Just remember, that potion will make you invisible, I think, but it only lasts like a minute, so we should probably use it wisely.
To confirm, what are there actions that will break it, or is it an uninterrupted minute?
I think it should be fine, but I think if you try, if you attack or things, it would probably. No, you should probably not do anything. Like, if you should just be invisible and run and stuff, because I think like, if if you do anything, it'll just stop. But I think you could come back. Maybe I think I made it so you should be able to like turn invisible if you do something stupid.
All right, sure. I mean,
So be it.
whatever you say, dear.
I can't promise it has no side effects, but that's okay.
Your side effects aren't that bad.
After all of the stone skin and everything, his
At least let's be careful when we move forward, huh? There's lots of shit going on. We don't want to catch the wrong attention.
And with that, we'll make the approach following the rough path that I remember will lead to the inner chamber while keeping an eye and seeing what's happening first. kind of taking a lead before I even try to go invisible. I'm going to try to maintain visibility just to see before I waste it.
Okay. If you guys are going forward carefully, I need stealth rolls from all of you.
Oh, I'm good at that.
I is not.
Oh, actually,
What?
I'm not horrible at that.
That is a 12 on my stealth.
Sir, you're the monk.
Yeah, I don't do stealth. I see everything and I run faster than people can stop. I don't stealth. I just move too quick.
Oh, snap.
The 22 for Perrin.
22 for Perrin. And for
Yeah,
Edith,
that
Awesome.
makes sense.
That's 19.
a 19.
That also makes sense.
Corvus, being more focused on your perceptiveness rather than your sneakiness, go ahead and give me a perception check as you lead the party through the first portion of the hideout here. It's a relatively quick path that Dolus created for you, but it's one where if you're not careful, you may run into some people.
That's a 14.
A 14. Luckily enough for you, at least in this first segment, as you're leading or exiting out of Dolus's chambers, following the hall and turning slightly, following the wall, and kind of heading what you would imagine to be deeper into the structure itself. You hear, as you're getting ready to round a corner, the moving of probably about a half dozen feet, and you stop and hold really quick and like just kind of peek around the corner for a second as you see a number of individuals just running toward where you would imagine there to be some sort of front entrance. One of them, like a couple of them toward the rear, are like struggling to get into armor and like buckle on their belts, and it seems like this is something that the general population of the Mortal Hand had not anticipated. It's a strike that has caught them by mostly surprise. You can hear clamoring and the movement of like chairs and tables and benches as you hear shouting for people to barricade different entrances and to fortify different placements. You hear one person talk about charging runes to one of the doors.
Like charging runes, I mean, opposite direction of
So
where
it's
I
so
go
you
to
guys
go?
would be if you guys would be going the opposite direction that they were running. So they were running from what you were looking like left to right, or right to left, sorry. You guys need to go to the right.
And they're saying charge the runes. Um, like I know what uh Jay thinks. The idea of charging runes, and they're talking about that way. Do you have an idea of what they mean by charging runes?
You can make an Arcana check if you'd like.
Arcana?
Yeah.
Not great. That's an 11.
An 11. You vaguely know that runes tend to hold magical power and magical essence. What somebody could be doing with it, you're not quite sure. You're not that well trained in that type of Arcana.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you know that runes of power can hold certain enchantments.
All right. Then Corvus is gonna keep a focus on reaching through towards the heart of everything, um, and let everything else keep going.
All right.
In Corvus's head, Corvus will hear Eden. Should we be invisible? Because you're not exactly being really quiet. Your footsteps are kind of heavy.
We are fine to keep going. If somebody is able to detect, I will know that they found me before they can act.
Okay. I'm assuming you say this out loud because you cannot respond in head.
Yeah, in a gruff yet soft tone.
Perfect. You quickly look both ways, take a second and listen. The coast is clear. You duck and follow, or like you turn the corner and follow the hall along. This hall looks like some sort of main causeway, roughly about 20 feet wide. And as you continue to follow through, Corvus, with your perception from earlier, you can hear the shuffling and movement of more feet coming from ahead of you where there's a set of double doors. This would roughly be, based on kind of what you're thinking, the kind of dining or like grander area that Dolus was speaking of.
And if I remember, it's past that leads into the office of Nathaniel, which is roughly where the ritual is going to be happening near that.
Yeah, and you would know on the rough map that was given to you, there's also a small kitchen that has a service quarter right to your right as you're walking in. It's not a like an actual door or like even a frame. It's just wall, but based on the drawing that your little goblin, spectral goblin, gave you earlier, you would know that it's there to dip into if needed, and that connects with that main dining area.
Okay, then yeah, I'm gonna maintain as tight to the wall to try to get into the dining area and see what I can discern. You said it's on the other side of a door.
Yeah, so the shuffling feet is coming from behind those double doors. To your right, you'd know in the wall there's like a hidden entrance almost, or like a secret compartment almost that
Before
would
that door.
that would
Okay.
lead into part of the kitchen and where in like warehouse for stockpiles of food and such.
I'm gonna let Eden go because Eden's holding before I.
So Eden will be, as we're progressing, I was going to see if I could make like maybe some sort of arcana check as we're going, because Eden is attempting to that smell of magic, that specific type of magic. Eden is kind of looking for that smell, or honestly just the smell of like that kind of heavy spellcasting as she's familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what she's trying to like pay attention to.
Of
If that
Dolus
makes
of
sense.
Dolus's.
Yeah, like specifically like because it was familiar to her, she smelled it before. So she's like looking out for that, and honestly like as they're going, she is watching out for runes and like magic-y things.
Okay, go
Because
ahead
that is
and
a yeah.
go ahead and give me an arcana check.
Cool. Okay, sorry. That's happy. 19 plus 7 is 26.
26. In this immediate area, as you guys are moving toward this dining space, you don't see any. You notice that there are portions of the wall that do have runes etched into them, like etched into the stone and the brick there. But looking at it, there's no magical aura to it. There's no like it's not giving off any energy. And typically runes tend to have some sort of faint glow or some way to discern it other than just like it being in place. So you would know that those by that door specifically are inactive. Yeah.
And
You
I don't
do-
smell anything yet.
Tiny wafts, right? Like
Like here and there.
like
kinda.
like lingering remnants of it. Yeah, he's definitely moved and been about this space, but it's not anything that's like recent to you.
Okay. Perfect.
Otherwise, if Eden doesn't say anything particularly, Corvus will continue. We'll try to find that the goal is through the passage, through that quarter. Nathaniel's office is the goal.
Cool. You are able to go ahead and give me investigation with advantage.
Natural 20 for 27.
Okay. Yeah, very quickly you start to hear the footsteps getting closer and closer to the door. As you do, you just kind of reach your hand out to where you know, like where it says on the map. You're like, okay, boom, put your hand there, and it just gives way ever so slightly, like it's just on a moving hinge, and it swings open. The three of you are able to duck in, and then you're able to very silently close it before. And put it back into place. And as you're doing, you can hear the doors bursting open, and more people moving forward. You hear one person calling and saying, "We need to ensure that the main doors are as stable as possible. That's going to be where the brunt of their forces are going to be. I need you to go back and ensure that whatever Dolus is doing is going to keep Nathaniel in the fight. And you hear two people go right, and you hear the doors open back up and move, shuffling of feet back into the chambers as whatever this main group is continue. But where you guys are is in a corner of the storeroom for the Mortal Hand stronghold. Around you, you can see dozens and dozens of crates and barrels, boxes, and things of that nature. And up against the wall, you can see 5 crossbows that look to be super, super gnarly looking. They're thick, have giant bows on the top. None of them drawn, but you can see the countermeasure that they use to wind it up is sitting there, and it looks like it would take a team to pull these back. And then bolts that look almost like ballista bolts racked up next to them. This would be some sort of kind of just immediate, like, open ambush, close, kill spot for the Mortal Hand if needed to be.
And you said they're not drawn, so they're limp.
Correct. Yeah, they're
Okay,
static,
Eden will be like, if there's nobody present other than us there at the moment, Eden will see those and will go up with their dagger and, like, dink, like, is trying to see if they can saw one of the string, like the.
Go ahead and give me a survival check real quick.
If
Okay.
that is
What
oh, go ahead.
What are the walls made of in here?
The wall you guys came through is made up of a combination of stone and wood, but it's denser, thicker wood. It's not like plywood 2x4 type stuff. It's
Okay.
construction grade wood, but the general room itself is almost like a damp cave. It's dark. It's got that little bit of, like, coldness to it. But made
14.
out of stone.
By the way, it's not great. 14.
14.
All right.
The first, like, you get 1 or 2. By the time you get to, like, the 3rd, the 4th, it's getting a little bit harder. Even with the bowstring, what do you call it? Slack. It's still pretty it's still pretty taut. So, like, the first couple, it catches you by surprise when both ends of the bow just kind of, rubber band to either end, make a little bit of noise, but not enough to really draw any attention. So you get 2 or 3 of them. You can finish up the lot, but you're making noise at this point.
Well,
Yeah,
why
so
don't you just bring them down?
I just didn't want anybody to use them.
No, I got it. Just bring them down and put them here. They're made of wood, yes?
Mm.
Wood and metal.
Yeah, combination of wood and metal.
Just bring them down, put them on the ground.
Yep.
Perrin pulls out the flame tongue short sword and just kind of, like, whips it around so that the flame ignites, and then he just points the sword in the pile and waits for the wood to catch. And then once it catches, he pulls it out and goes, okay, so some of these things are probably going to pop and explode and potentially be a hazard for us, so we might want to move.
Did we tell him we wouldn't burn down his house? Because I think we're lying now.
We did not promise any of the such. As Corvus
Okay.
continues on.
Yeah, I was going to say, Eden.
Walk your chicken strips as he walks away from the crossbows.
The back end of this chamber, or the opposite end of this chamber, has a small passageway that you guys can dart through. There are almost like leathery or hide tarps that cover this entranceway to keep whatever coolness is within this chamber. But as you guys move in, push through, you can see a very simple kitchen. There are a couple cauldrons over fires. There isn't really a great air filtration system here, so while there is a chimney, you don't quite know where it goes. Not likely to the surface by any means, but you are able to discern that this could probably feed anywhere between a couple dozen to a little less than 100 people, if serviced correctly. But it's relatively small. You're in about a 20-foot by 20-foot room. big island in the center for cutting and preparing food, and little cabinets and counters across the space that are just littered with knives and utensils and things of that nature. Nothing
Where
of
are we
note.
going now?
Across to the left, like pretty much as you're walking in directly to your left, there's one of those like swinging bar doors that leads into what you could see to be the dining area.
Which is, so we still have to go through the dining area to get to Nathaniel because this room
Correct.
doesn't have a direct path. Yeah.
Correct.
And as you said, is it currently swinging or I just see a swinging door?
No. It's one of those doors that could swing, right? It's not one where
Okay.
you have to physically like grab the handle, open it. It's one where you just simply push and walk in.
Um, Otherwise the space seems empty. With that, maintaining still like a less up. Corvus is less worried about being stealthy and more about being alert on my way to that door. And then we'll try to gently push to try to observe on the other side before trying to go through.
Go ahead and give me.
And then I was gonna say, as you get to the door, you look down and there is a small rat with two fuzzy pink antennae on your foot.
Because I'm like just pushing it ever so slightly. And I'm like, okay, just enough room for a rat to go through and to hear anything going on.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
18.
18. Looking in, you can see that a lot of the tables have already been flipped and put on their side. Toward the back of the room, you can start to see two individuals. One, this human-looking figure, though you can tell based on the ears that they're probably more elven, pulling out this kind of wicked and jagged-looking short sword as they begin to kind of creep toward a passage or a doorway that's on the far end of the chamber. Next to them, you can see this dwarf that is just walking very casually, and like you can tell, just like talking to them, and just from what you can hear, Dolus, I don't see why we're checking up on him. There's no way whatsoever that what he knows what he's doing. He's been doing this for how long? And the elf you can. I know. However, I also know that people like him are dangerous. He has been under his father's boot for way too long. And they start to creep to where the door is, and like kind of you can tell the elf is like looking inside intently, and the dwarf is like not giving a fuck whatsoever, like sitting in a chair, like sits in a chair by the door, grabs a pint that's like sitting on the floor, like half turned over, and like looks at it for a second and starts drinking it.
And it's just those two. You said they're flipped, but there's nobody like barricaded behind the table. So it's just the elf and the dwarf.
From what you can tell, there's nobody barricaded behind any of the tables. It's just this elf and the dwarf.
Eden Rat will look up at Corvus and be like, kind of motioning, and then like doing this a whole lot, and then this. Question for the DM: would I still be able to communicate telepathically?
While you're wild shaped, you maintain your mental statistics. So,
Okay, then in
yeah.
And all the
Corvus's
features.
head,
Yeah, and all your features, yeah.
yeah. So Corvus would then hear in his head, like while the little rat is doing the thing and being quiet, mind you, then you will hear, I could totally go over there and make a distraction and distract them away from the door, and then they won't know that it's me, and then we can sneak up behind them and kill them.
And the important thing about the room acknowledgement is it's like a rectangular or square room, and then the door, or is it a hallway, then the door? That does matter on if it's like they're guarding an open flat door, or if it's like a hallway.
It's a closed door. My bad. I use passageway as if there is a passageway there, but there's not. That's my bad. But yeah, no, it's a simple doorway.
Distance from here to them is how far?
This is a larger chamber, roughly about 40 feet across.
40.
You also
Okay.
got to remember these are all subterranean like places. So even if it's like a 40 by like 30 to 40 foot chamber, like that's pretty big for a tunnel that's hundreds of feet underground. Yeah. Especially with no structural support that you can see. Yeah.
If they can get pulled from the door safely, then so be it. Otherwise, they must be eliminated quickly, lest they call for more attention.
then Eden will scurry off of Corvus's foot away from the door that they're trying to go towards. And like from behind one, like will make their way and like behind one of the tables, like we'll just let out like a eek, and then like we'll try to like this little rat squeak, and then we'll if there is like a spoon on the floor by chance of anything like this, any kind of cutlery.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they flipped all the tables over, so whatever,
Okay,
like, there's plates and silverware and yeah, knives and glasses and candelabras.
perfect.
Yeah.
So then Eden will take like a little fork and will be banging it against a cup that's on the floor and squeaking.
Go ahead and roll a d20. I don't know what a mouse's charisma is, but don't add that. Just roll a d20.
Okay. 17?
17. Okay.
Of just trying to be annoying and get their attention. Whatever that roll is.
The elf isn't paying much mind, but like the dwarf has now gone through and looked through like two or three different pints, and he's like, what's that? What's that clamoring? I don't hear
Throws
it.
the fork out into the walkway, visibly.
All right, now make a strength check for your stupid fucking rat self. God damn it! You went too far. You're throwing things now. You're not Stuart Little.
Okay, well that's an 11.
Well, apparently you are. You just kind of like and throw it, and you see the fork from your guys' end, like just kind of skip and like slide for a second, just across the stone floor. What was that?
And then scurry to like another table.
He goes and starts to pull out his axe from his back and like stops, and he's like, oh, I would have saw something if it would have came through those doors. Yeah, he puts it back and like pulls out a knife. It must just be like a rat or a
In his
could be
head,
something bigger.
he will hear. In his head, he will just hear.
And he starts
You
making his
haven't
way.
the slightest idea of the kind of rat that I am. I'm going to eat your fucking soul.
And he's already like 2 or 3 tables, like starting to make his
Yeah.
way from table to table at this point. Go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Is there any chance, can I discern the motion based on the layout of the room, the positioning of like where people are moving, or do I feel safe enough to like peek to observe?
Yeah, the dwarf is very intently looking at the ground, and like the elf is almost like ear to the door, listening and trying to hear what's going on. More or less, like they don't want to be in the room with Dolus, but they're there to like make sure and ensure that Lethaniel, if something were to happen to Lethaniel, that they could act quickly. But the dwarf, his head is down. He is not focused on the doorway that you guys are in. So if you wanted to peek, look around, 100% could.
Also, that's a 10.
A 10?
Yeah, that didn't do anything to him. He's too drunk. I don't know.
No, because I rolled a 5 on his insight check.
Oh.
Can he respond to you in your head?
No, not in my head. So he just hears it.
Did you hear that? The rat's
The only
speaking
one
to
that
me.
hears this. You're going insane.
Get out of my head.
No, I live
You're
here
like-
now.
He like banks his head for a second. Go ahead and make another intimidation check.
I just love that I'm running around as a rat. It's 10.
10. All right. He like shakes that off for a second. He goes, no, that ale's been down here for a while. I may have just been. It was probably just bad ale. And he's now actively going to be searching for you. So if you're hopping and your intent is to be hidden or silent, go ahead and roll stealth for me.
I don't know. It's a
Two.
2.
2. So Corvus and Perrin, you can't really see through the door. The window's not high enough, but Corvus is describing it to you very quietly as this dwarf is making his way from table to table. You can see every once in a while the flash of the pink antennae go by, or scurry underneath a table, behind a chair, underneath an overturned mug. until you, Eden, try to hop over a plate and don't see the fork. And you land on the prongs of the fork, and the fork kind of does that thing where it flips over you and just continues to clatter. And at that point, the dwarf is rounding the table. There you are, and he's going to throw a dagger at you.
Um, and then do with the position, do I see like a spot if I were to get behind a table to still not be seen from the doorway? Like, do I see a way to basically hide if I were to quickly go in the room?
There are a couple of tables that are like within 5 feet or so of the door that you could get to.
All right, I'm gonna take a few of
With
my
your,
ball bearings,
yeah, with your monk speed, yeah, you could get there. No, no problem.
and I want to very specifically do that and keep myself low. So I want to like do like a dive roll to keep myself low and control my pace. And like, I'm not very stealthy, but I can take the least amount of steps to making noise.
Go ahead. It's going to be twofold. So go ahead and give me an acrobatics check. And this will be for like how fluidly you can move without making any noise, also without stepping on anything that would cause noise.
That's an 18.
An 18. Cool. Now go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
16.
16. You very effortlessly kind of, open the door, slide in. You are crouched down to be about Perrin's height, and as you slink in, you just grab the other end and like let it slowly slide behind you. Before you do a quick, and when it's in place, you do a quick tumble forward, and your back is now up against the table. You're low, you're crouched down, hands kind of digging into your pack and pocket for some ball bearings, I think you said.
Yeah, because my goal is to throw more ball bearings at the direction where he's throwing the dagger, but like behind it to cause more noise echoing from the space to kind of scatter where he thinks things are. Is my
Okay.
intention, just to make more noise around that space.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a deception or performance. I'll give you the choice. It's not really.
Oh,
It's not actually. It's not really charisma. No. Go ahead and just make a strength check real quick.
oh, damn strength. Oh, that's fair,
Because
I
you're because you're
guess.
because you're throwing things.
If could I argue a dex based throw? It's not about how
Yeah.
hard. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
get it
How
in that
accurately?
area.
Yeah. I'll allow Dex.
Oh, thank goodness. All right. Uh,
Renee's
so
just like,
plus the
you kidding me?
that's a dirty 20.
A
Let
dirty
them do what they
20.
want to do.
Um, cool. Uh, you throw it behind you as the dagger is being thrown. And this one more that jumped out and went straight to nowhere. It is enough to distract him though, because as he's like getting ready to throw before he releases, that's when the first kind of pinging of metal on either stone or glassware or plates and all sorts of ting 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 ting, ting from behind him, and he like glances over his shoulder for a second as he's releasing, which gives Eden enough time to move, and the blade does not go anywhere because he's looking the other direction. His momentum's taking, and it just kind of lands into the wood of one of the tables, close to where Eden was, but not directly on, like at that spot. Um,
Better luck next time. I'll have to eat your soul for that. just trying to.
Who's there? He like as he like looks around, doesn't see anything. He notices the ball bearings and like reaches down to pick one up. And we don't keep these on the floor in here, do we? He holds up and looks at the elf. And, how am I supposed to know?
You're so incompetent.
Who do
Oh,
you say
no.
that to?
He says it to the door.
Oh, God.
No, I'm not. No, you're not.
Look
What?
at you, you're bumbling fool.
Dude.
Aaron's going to pull the door just open enough so that he can see.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as this, like the quietest whisper, that just leaks into this guy's head. He goes, I bet you dropped the soap on purpose. I'd like a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh fuck! This is like the worst. What are you, Tasha? What are you doing?
Vicious mockery.
That's a 3.
Okay. He takes 4 psychic damage and has disadvantage on his next attack.
Um, at this point, he like grabs the axe off of his back now, which is this just gnarly looking, double headed, almost executioner style battle axe, and he's like just white knuckling it at this point. His eyes like staring crazily everywhere. I don't know what we did to deserve this.
You'll mess with dark magics.
I don't even know
Our
magic.
presence is going to be payment
You-
enough.
You need to shut up.
You need to die.
There's just like, if Karen looks at all, there's just like a little rat just
And you watch as the elf walks over to the dwarf and puts their hands on their shoulders. If you are not going to get your shit together, I need you to leave.
I'm
Never
going
get your
to
shit together.
I'm going to take that line and I'm going to embody it. I'm going to hold the door open still that little bit and I am going to mimic the voice of the elf. And I'm going to say, and by leave, I mean die. And this is the dwarf looking at the elf, and all he can hear is this in his head while he's looking at the elf, as if the elf is like inflicting it on him.
All right. And you need another. What do you need from him? Another wisdom saving throw?
Another wisdom saving throw.
That's like sub 10.
Okay. That's another 5 psychic damage.
And you watch.
My favorite part is going to be if he drops, like, while this is happening, the elf's just going to be like,
You watch and he's at this point, his eyes and his just like all about his like his body language is he is not only is he tense, but like he's breathing heavy. He's like just fight or flight, like looking around the room everywhere. And when you hit him with that second one, he goes, I am tired of you bossing me the fuck around. And he turns and he swings the battle axe down in front of him at the elf. With disadvantage would be a 2. And the elf just sidesteps gracefully. As he does, you watch as he takes the scimitar or the short sword in his hand and just very quickly, like as he's sidestepping, brings it up and slits the dwarf's throat in front of him. And you hear then the gurgling that as the dwarf just slumps forward and clatters everything on the ground, and he's bleeding out.
This is the point where Perrin's literally going to kick the swinging door open, like steps out like a fucking gunslinger from the Wild West. You hear, and he just kind of puts finger guns up in the air. Well, that wasn't very nice, and I'm going to Eldritch Blast the elf from the door.
At
While
that point, we're gonna roll initiative because there's enough shit going on, and he just killed somebody, so he's like ready to fucking go.
Sure.
what were you going to say, Jaden?
because Corvus was also going to jump from over the table and just Superman punch off the top of the table.
Of course.
Do it, 100%. All for it. 100%.
Let me roll the
support.
initiative while it's here. Oh, so close. That'll be a 12 on the initiative. But it is a 23 to hit the Superman punch.
Well, you're gonna have to wait for your turn to do that, sir.
Oh, dang.
All right. Eden, what'd you get?
It's a 3.
Okay. You're gonna probably go last.
Oh, maybe.
Perrin, what'd you get?
21. I'd be 21.
What? All right. So your Eldritch Blasts are gonna be pretty dope. And then you got a 12 there,
Yeah,
Corvus.
it's a 12.
All right. So this guy is gonna go in between Perrin and Corvus. Perfect. Perrin, you are up first.
Eldritch Blast. 2 beams, baby.
2 beams.
Damn. Those are good rolls. That's a 22 and a 25, respectively.
Both of those hit. Go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
Those were attack rolls.
Or I'm sorry, make your damage rolls. Wow.
Yes. That I can do. That's 9 force damage in total.
A 9 force damage. Hey, that's pretty solid. That's a good start to this thing.
That's not bad.
They both. You watch as like the elf goes to move the blade in front of them to try to deflect, but at the last minute you kind of do like you curve your hand for a
Curve
second.
the bullet.
and you curve the Eldritch
Fucking-
Blast just a tiny bit.
Fucking wanted.
And it just ever so slightly like tings off the blade and just slams into the elf here and lets out a quick little just. It hurts. He's looking rough, but he's he's not looking rough. It hurt him, but he's still on his feet.
As I watch Corvus looking at me about to vault over the table, I just kind of look directly at him and go, "Oh yeah!" And I just pocket the finger guns I'll give Corvus a D8 of bardic inspiration.
No, way to go! You can do it. I'm fucking cool. Holster Eldritch Blast.
That's right.
I like it. Who are you people?
None of your business. We're here for your soul.
As like Eden is still like running to the just
Oi, get fucked. That's all Baron has to say.
This is quiet waiting
We'll see.
because
And the dagger in one hand reaches out and pulls out what looks to be this kind of small gray bead and is going to flick it in your direction. A 15 doesn't hit you, does it?
Me?
Yes.
It certainly does.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw, you say?
Yes. As I get out my DM screen because I forgot to put it up.
Constitution saving throw. Oh, which dice? I don't want to damn Terran with this result. Constitution saving throw. Yep. That's a 20. Get fucked.
A 20. So the good news is that as this thing hits your chest, it doesn't do any damage. It doesn't hurt you. And because it's not really meant, it's almost like you just took like a paintball to the chest. It stings, but it doesn't do damage. And then the casing erupts, and a soft fog emits in about a 20-foot area. You then hear the quick rush, a step, Corvus, above your head, and you look up and can just see like the half shadow of something moving through as the elf is going to leap past you to go for Perrin.
oh, cool. He gonna get snatched in midair.
Perfect.
We're actually gonna go for a full-on knocking prone attempt specifically.
Push him.
That is a two. It's a natural 20.
A natural 20. Oh shit, it would be a disadvantage because you are in the fog. My apologies.
Oh, is it obscured?
It's obscure.
Heavily
It's
obscured.
obscured enough where you can see the movement past you, but it's like you don't see the full form, so you can't make an accurate swing. Are you
Okay.
going for a punch, or are
Uh,
you going for a grapple, or
um, a shove, which I believe is an attack.
It is.
a shove is an attack? Correct.
Yeah, I'm trying to knock him prone next to me. That is 16. So that's going to be a 23 to hit.
A 23 to hit will still hit.
All right. Assuming how far did he move?
Over
That
your
had been
head.
like
You're not sure.
yeah,
At
from where he
least
was is
probably about 20 feet to you, like to
so
where
my
you were.
thought is yeah, so if he's knocked prone, I feel like unless he has a lot of movement, I'm like he wouldn't be able to get up and still make it to Perrin, which I think I'm okay with. So yeah, I'm gonna just knock him prone next to me after he
All right.
tries to jump. I'm just gonna like as he goes, I'm gonna just grab hook under his foot and just pull down so he just kind of
You
tumbles forward.
you hear the step, and you just kind of reach your hand up and like cup the top of his foot enough where it like snags it, and he falls forward in front of you. In response, he's going to make 2 quick attacks at you with his short sword
With disadvantage.
with disadvantage because he's prone.
Correct.
That first one's going to miss. Oh, that one went out of the. There we go. That one is going to be a 6, 4 plus 7, so 13, which also
That'll miss.
misses. So he swings out with 2 quick flashes in your direction. Nothing. And you're able to just bat it away with ease. For. You're technically not prone, but you're prone, but you're not. And we're good. Yeah. But he swings out at you. Bonus action, action. That's it. That's his turn. It is now on to you, Corvus.
All right.
He's laying there, maybe about 5 feet in front of you.
Yeah, see, I'm just gonna stand on top of him and we're gonna do this old-fashioned MMA style. We're going for the ground and pound.
Cool. Go for it.
What I call it when I hit your mom up.
If I'm
He's got Corvus has 3 moms. Stop. Are you
So because
Are
we're
you the one
in-
on the ground? Fuck.
because he's prone, even though and he's within 5 feet, like the heavily obscured doesn't count because he's next to me, right?
Because he's directly next to you, I would say it cancels out. So it'd be a straight roll.
Okay, cool. So then 3 attacks. That is a 22, a 24, and a natural 20 for 27.
Jesus.
Ooh,
Yeah,
ooh,
those
ooh.
all hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
All right, so that's going to be
Is this thing that I thought was going to be a decent encounter not going to actually be a decent encounter? Let's find out. He's going to use Uncanny Dodge on the. He's going to use his reaction to dodge your natural 20. That's what he will do.
all right. So the first one is so it's going to be 10,
Okay.
10, and 8 for a total of 28 damage.
8 was
The
your.
crit was the critical hit.
The 8 was your critical. Was your crit?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. All right. So, wow. 4 there. So that's 20 plus 4. Okay. As you stand there and just a barrage of fists at him. He's trying to cover his hands as best as possible, but you're connecting with his jaw, you're connecting with his ribs, and he just can't move his arms to block wherever you are. You're just very deftly and quickly shifting and moving your focus.
The fog is still there and heavily obscured. So what I actually want to do is, I'm going to step away towards where I know Perrin was,
Okay.
to kind of be in the way of that. So if he goes towards Perrin, he'd have to come towards me.
Perfect. And yeah, there's probably about another about 10 feet of movement to get to over where Perrin was, and at that point, you move through the fog for a moment. Perrin, hearing this scuffle on the ground, and then you're met with the appearance of Corvus as he's moving through the fog here.
And then
Sexy and mysterious.
I'm gonna just. My whole goal is I'm gonna get a little low so that way, if he gets close, I can get him. But I want to be on the path to parents. I want that like 5 foot separation that he has to pass by me again to get
Ooh.
to parent.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that works.
And that's it. That's all I got.
Perfect. Eden, your turn.
Do it.
Mouse. She's just gonna keep doing it.
Sorry. It's so cute. Yeah, no, I think the problem is I have to be able to see them though.
You would have been on the outside of this fog, so you would have seen the little orb be thrown at Perrin. It just go and spread out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like as this is exploding out, I'm a rat. What can I do?
You'd like to make a perception check to see if you can determine where everybody is in the fog. You may.
Well, I think Eden will continue. Like, here's the scuffling going on, I'm thinking, but like is going to continue to go towards the door that they like were trying to get to.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, how far? How far can a mouse move?
They can run 20 feet. So I will 20 feet. 20 feet.
I'd say with 20. I'd say with maybe about 30 feet, you can get to the door.
Okay.
You were still on the farther end of the chamber. But you get to the door. It is small enough for you to squeeze under if you really wanted to.
Yeah, Eden will start to like with that last little bit of movement, like that little bit of movement, just because I mean, rats can be.
Yeah,
squished.
you flatten yourself down and you squeeze through. Now, what I will also give you is that the underneath the doorway as you're moving through, when you get to the far end where it would open up into this next like short, like maybe about 5 foot hallway before it curves, and you can see the light coming in from the next room. It gets incredibly cold, bone chilling.
Okay. And do I smell the thing that I have been smelling?
You don't need to like sniff or make a check of any sort, because as you go down underneath this crack, pop back up, and get this bone chilling sensation, cold sweep over you, your antennae immediately just kind of perk out, and it is everywhere. Necrotic energy like anything you've ever felt before, to the point where you feel the warmth beginning to leave you to an extent.
Okay. Then Eden will be hanging back there. Because that's all I can really do on my turn anyways at this point. But we'll be like keeping a listen watch like that direction to see like is any sound coming out of anywhere?
Yeah, give me I'll allow a bonus action perception check.
That is a natural 20 plus 7.
What languages do you know again? Can you enlighten me there?
Hang on. Crap.
I'm making her go back into her notebook because, she decided to doodle a rat.
I've got 2. Sylvan, Elvish, Druidic, Primordial.
It is none of those, but it is guttural, and it is grating. As if somebody was putting somebody like screaming or growling in pain through a cheese grater.
Okay.
If language could sound like that.
Yeah.
It's
No big deal.
choppy and harsh, and
yeah, so
everything's just
totally
mashed together.
fine is what it is. Everything's fine. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay. So the rat is sitting there kind of quivering a little bit, like squished under the door, like half fat. Like the little rat butt is sticking out one end, and then the antenna and like the head are sticking out the other, and then it's just smushed in the middle. That's kind of how I'm envisioning this moment.
Go ahead and... Oh, I'm sorry. Not your turn. Perrin, we'll move back over to you.
Yeah.
This little rat sits in the doorway.
There's still fog.
There is.
Fucker. So I can't see him.
No, not at the moment, no.
It's the worst
Hold
when you
your
have
action.
to
I got this.
Well,
I did,
um,
I did math. I learned I could do something.
you did math? Congratulations, bud. I'm so proud of you. No, I had a fun thing that I wanted to do, but now it's not so fun because I can't see
I mean,
him.
you can go find him if you want.
No, but I have to see him, and like I am the damsel in distress currently, and I'm allowing Corvus to be the prince, so
Gotcha.
Thank you.
it's all fine and good.
You can,
Um,
if you want to hold your action.
yeah, but like
Doesn't have the same effect.
it doesn't have it. Well, no, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I still would need the fog to be gone in order to do this because spells require. Oh, okay.
So
Sure.
there's something you could do instead.
Yeah. So instead of doing it as vicious mockery, I'll just do it. And Perrin just kind of like calls out into the fog, and says, "Well, I was there and I saw what you did. I saw it with my own two eyes. So you can wipe off that grin. I know where you've been, and it's all been a pack of lies." But Perrin will walk out of the fog and see where Eden is standing,
I'd say
and
you
make
can,
his way.
yeah, as you walk out of the fog, you catch like the trail end of Eden's tail going through the doorway, like underneath the doorway.
Okay, so I will head towards the door.
Cool. Um, Perfect. It is now their turn. This elf's turn. He knows no better. So you hear him, Corvus, shuffle and get up, and then almost like a very just like a like sliding over the top of the stone. You watch as he whizzes past you, so intent on harming your halfling friend. You get another attack.
Yep, we're gonna go ahead and do that. But that'll be a disadvantage, right? Even though I can hear him.
This would be a disadvantage, yeah, because he's moving through the fog past you, yeah, or like yeah, past you.
So I will do that. Two of those. That's still gonna be a 19.
A 19 will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Um,
Or no, you're just pulling him down again, aren't you?
yep, I'm staying low. I'm just going for like
And you
hitting the
just
back of the knee to cause him to kind of
you hear him come.
stumble down.
You hear him coming. The second he gets right past you, you just kick out with your leg real quick. It hits him in the back of the knee, and he stumbles and falls. He has enough movement though, and he gets back up, and he swings immediately to you, not seeing the halfling anywhere, and rushes in to engage with you. So 2 attacks. The first being
At disadvantage.
not with disadvantage.
Oh, he can see in heavily obscuredness. Oh,
There's a reason they left him behind.
I'm taking his eyes.
First one is gonna be what? Yeah, his first name is Elf. His last name is Uchiha. The first one is gonna be an 18 plus 7 for 25, and the second one's gonna be an 18.
Yeah, those will hit. Those will hit.
All right. So the first one is gonna be. First one's gonna be numbers. Where's it at? There we go. Plus 4. 7 points of damage.
7,
And the second one is going to be 6 points of damage
6.
as he swings at you with his short sword. He is then going to use his bonus action to disengage from you and go into the mist. The fog, sorry.
Okay. And he makes no noise stepping on any silver or ball bearings.
Oh. Fucking dice hate me. You hear briefly, as you're sitting there, you're watching. If the direction that he went was 12 o'clock, there's a clattering, like a small like scrape of some sort of silverware on stone to your like 2 o'clock.
Okay. That is all I need for now.
It is now your turn.
All right. I know technically using ball bearings and sprinkling like a whole bag on the floor is like an action, but would it be like a free action to just take a small bit and just throw it in the air, just like in front of me randomly?
I would allow it as a bonus action.
I'll take the bonus action because my goal is to
Yeah.
throw it in the general direction I saw him at and then rush behind it.
Okay,
So
so
bonus
like
action, throw a hand of ball bearings.
cool. You check the ball bearings. You start to hear as they kind of ting 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 as they're hitting off the stone and bouncing. Um, you rush in that direction. Go ahead and give me a perception check with disadvantage. Sorry.
All right. Disadvantage on hearing the sound. Damn, that would have been so great too. So that's only gonna be a 19.
A 19. 19, you are able to identify, like, as the ball bearings are hitting, you hear a couple hit off of what, like, probably sounds to be leather. It has more of that, like that thud sound rather than the ping of stone on metal. And you quickly turn that direction and you are able to locate, triangulate your prey.
All right. With that triangulation, I would like to engage that space, using the ball bearing sound echo to let me know how high he's standing to get solid strikes.
Cool. He's standing at about half height. He's like crouched essentially.
Oh, I'm going for a knee to the face.
But go for it. Make your attacks. Still with disadvantage, but you're at least able to find where he is.
All right, we're gonna roll the first attack. That's a dirty 20 on the first attack.
Okay.
And that's gonna be 16 on the second.
The they'll both
I
hit.
still,
They'll pull
oh,
because the first one
solid.
was a 20 something. Yeah, you said.
Yeah, and
The
then it
second one was
was
a
a
16. A 16 just barely hits.
that's what I need to hear. Okay. We're gonna take that then. Um, that is going to be well, 11, 8, 19 damage for 1 and 2.
You pop out real quick. 1, 2, connect with your like kind of flying knee to the face, and as he's reeling back, you just grab him by the head and throw a punch into him. He staggers back momentarily before righting himself again, blade in his hand. Oh, he does have uncanny dodge. So I say, what were they? They each.
So it was the wow, 9 and a 10.
All right.
So he can have the
He
10.
will have the 10 to 5, so that'll be 14 points of damage. Still, that's a heck of a lot of damage. He's starting to show considerable signs of wear and tear. His nose is bleeding. His eye is starting to black up a bit. There we go. That's how math works. And he's looking pretty haggard.
I would like to use the rest of my movement to head towards the exit door that he was peeking through to try to get out of the fog and get a better bearing on things.
Of course, you dart past him, and you hear him. You can't go there. He's not gonna like it if you disturb him.
Silence as I get that distance.
You, after about 10 feet of movement, you pop out of the smoke. Perrin's maybe about 5-10 feet behind you. You're both able to see the doorway. You don't catch Eden scooch under, though, so you don't know where Eden is right now. But Eden, it is now your turn. You're on the other end of this doorway.
Eden will continue forward, like along the edge of the wall towards where the light is, as much as I can. How long is this hallway?
It's only about 5 feet. So you
Oh,
scurry,
then
scurry,
just
scurry, scurry, and it opens into a like a two-parted office. So the front half almost looks like a small war room or like a council room. It's got this like nice table in the center. There's maps and scrolls, chairs seated around it. Also, the body of Nathaniel Hawthorne on top of it, and as you can see, a middle-aged man, human, with this kind of salt and peppered, like dirty, not dirty blonde, but like brown hair with flecks of gray starting to come through it. A very, very trimmed sideburns inside of the face with a goatee in the front. Laying there, sweat emanating from his brow across his skin. His skin looks white, pale as snow. And he's looking, eyes connecting with another figure that you can see is standing on top of one of the chairs. His arm, that you recognize to be Dolus, his arm stretched down and over the body of his father, speaking in this continual, like, repeating this repeating phrase. You don't know what it means. You don't know what language it is, but it's just constant gnashing of sound.
You mo gui guai fighting sao. You mo gui guai fighting sao.
I don't know what that is, but sure.
Nobody got the reference. It's okay.
The
Jackie.
Thank
the
you.
Nathaniel
um
is looking up. We were meant to take this city. It was going to be ours, yours, and mine. The chanting stops for a moment. It will be ours, Father. You just won't be the one running things. And you watch as the right hand outstretched, the left hand flicks at the wrist, and a dagger appears, and he chucks the dagger into the center of the body, and impales itself into the center of Nathaniel.
in that moment, Eden will like and then just will drop wild shape.
Welcome. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Top cod.
Is he dead?
Oh, Perrin, you're not there
I'm
yet. You
still
can't
ahead.
see. Perrin, you can't see him.
Oh,
The door
never
is.
mind.
There's a closed door between
Yeah.
you and Eden right now.
My
But you can
apologies.
hear the muffle. Like you can hear Eden say something. He's not dead yet, as promised.
Okay.
I need but a few moments longer. So if you can please ensure that we aren't disturbed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Eden like
Make an Arcana check.
yeah. Ooh, that is a 25.
What you notice as the blade sinks into the body of Nathaniel, the pommel of it has this motif of a skull, and as it connects with the body, the jaw kind of slackens and the mouth opens. The eyes begin to glow this like dark mixtures of green and blacks, and you watch as script in the parts of the body of Nathaniel's body that you can see start to appear along the neck, across the face, across the forehead.
Oh, quick question before I walk away. Can I watch?
You don't know what I'm speaking, do you?
No. My sisters didn't really share some of their knowledge of other languages with me. I think it was to keep me from overpowering them.
I've met one of your kind before. She's dead now. But you intrigue me. And he refocuses and snaps out of his conversation with you and continues to chant. And as he does, you watch as a single mote of some sort of obsidian, it's an obsidian looking bead, starts to descend from his hand toward the body.
Maybe Eden's just gonna hang out, keep a close eye, observing. For multiple reasons.
Perrin. Your go.
I could go through the door.
Yeah. You rush over to the door. It's a push door, not a pull door. You push in, the door slams behind you, Eden. You can hear the door slam behind, and you only take maybe a step or two before your face is in the back of Eden.
Eden, in Perrin's head.
He said to be quiet, that he only needs a few more minutes, but I'm watching him very closely.
Kind of peek around her. I see the things that she's been seeing. The lettering and him standing over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see the what languages is Perrin now?
Oh fuck! The main
The
two,
halfling and common.
The main two, the most important.
Remind me next campaign to just give everybody common for free, and then you get two. But we'll
Thank
address
you.
that next time.
No, common and I mean, let's be
halfling.
honest. Perrin would only really know common and halfling. Let's be real.
True. That's true. So yeah, you have no idea what's going on. There's a dagger in a dude's chest on the table. And the dagger, the pommel of the dagger is glowing. There's a small black bead descending from the hand of Dolus toward the face of who you can only assume to be Nathaniel. Anything for you?
No, I was told to be quiet, and so.
When have you ever
listen.
listened to anybody that's told you to do that?
Hey, listen. When the lady says, "Shut your mouth," you listen, because maybe you might get rewarded for being a good boy. So that's the quietness in the back.
Great. Thank you, Brent. Cool. Corvus does an 18 hit.
An 18 will hit.
Perfect. An 18 hits as a dagger comes flying out the fog. You can hear as it hits you in the shoulder. For how much is this guy's sneak attack? That many. 3 plus 4, so 7 points of piercing damage.
He threw a dagger and that was a sneak attack, 7 altogether.
Oh no, that's just the piercing from the dagger, and then his sneak attack is going to be 10, 16. So what I say, 7 plus 16, 23 points of damage.
23. Damn, so I can only do because he threw a dagger at me. I'm gonna reduce that by 17.
Holy shit! Good for you.
Monk levels plus, the good old deflect missiles as I'm trying to hamper it, and it barely grazes and slows and still kind of cut, but I catch it before it goes full pierce, and
yeah.
But not enough to throw it back, unfortunately.
Perfect. You hear that followed by, I don't get paid enough for this shit. If you want to disturb Dolus, you may. And you hear the shuffling of feet and then the opening of the 2 doors that lead out toward that main, like, kind of walkway that you guys were in before you went into the kitchen. The doors swing shut behind you. And it's your turn if you want to pursue him.
No, I believe that door is 40 feet away, so I don't want to risk opening that because he's going through the servant's door or through the
No,
actual
he's
main
going through
dining
the
hall.
actual main dining hall door. Like the
Yeah,
double
no,
doors that are there.
I tried to prevent him, but if he's gonna go that way,
Yeah, no, he ain't sitting there and fighting to the death with y'all. He's a smart man.
yeah, I'm gonna head over to the door and just kind of like, I'm gonna keep that dagger because I put that in my pocket,
Cool.
and I'm gonna head over to the rest of the party.
As you
And-
walk,
Corvus is gonna get a very similar, like,
you like as you're walking in, you can see like Eden's gonna. And you see the very similar sight of Dolus performing some sort of ritual on his father. The dagger embedded, pulsating this dark green, like shades of greens and blacks energy. This orb descending and closer to the face of Nathaniel Hawthorne, the Baron of the Hand, and the writing creeping ever closer to his eyes. And that's where we're going to go on a quick break.
even just
okay.
watching.
Yeah, Eden just watching. Probably taking notes for something she's going to do later.
Yeah.
We're gonna fade to black. Literally, we're going to break. We'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes.
I didn't do it this time though. It
I
wasn't my
know.
fault.
I know. Perrin is on. I don't know if you're just like slap happy at this point, Renee, or what. But like, I love this energy. Keep it
Bruh,
going more.
it's been a fucking day.
I
am
needed this
doing
game.
my
Yeah.
best.
And
Well-
I love being here, so.
And I love your crazy shit, despite how many times I go or other sorts
Okay.
of exasperated sighs.
Isn't she lovely?
Anyway.
Eden Rat is the best thing ever, though.
Why
I don't
does
want
that
to
look like a
hear.
rust? Why does that look like a rust monster from here?
Because she's so
a little bit.
It does. We're gonna go on break. We'll be back in 5 to 10. Bye.
The scene for me because I wasn't in the room, so my brain did not capture the information perfectly.
We're already back, and you admitted that live on television for everybody.
Hi, my
Hi.
brain goes burr.
But
But
because of Burbrain, you quickly scare off and get you turn down friendly fire for 2 guards, and then got one to flee. While that fleeing was occurring, Eden investigated what was going on in Nathaniel Hawthorne's chambers. There she found that Dolus was performing some sort of ritual on Nathaniel. The culmination, or like the key thing that occurred, was the throwing of a dagger with this semi-flaming greenish hue to the eyes and mouth of the skull on the pommel. A small obsidian bead manifesting in Dolus's hand as it slowly moved toward Nathaniel, the Baron of the Hand. The longer the green energy stayed lit on the pommel, the more you started to notice writing on the skin of Nathaniel as it went from where the dagger originally started out through the rest of his body, up through his arms. You can start to see it forming on his hands and fingers. Up on his neck, you start to see it come up and around and start to come across his face. The bead getting closer and closer. Yes.
Eden will also telepathically give Corvus just a brief rundown of what Dolus said to Father before Eden unwild shaped. The whole bit of, well, we'll still run the city, you just won't be a part of it. So that
Yes, that's exactly how Dole sounds.
That's how Dolus sounds.
That's pretty
that's how
accurate.
Eden imitates him
love
in
it.
Corvus's head.
But where you guys are now, sitting, or well, standing silently, as this bead continues toward Nathaniel. In moments, it's in front of his face, and you see, in one last flash of panic, "Son, I don't know what this is, but I've always been proud of you." Dolus pauses his chanting for a moment. "Father, I've been able to read through your lies since you told me my mother died in childbirth." And the bead slips through his lips and disappears. The eyes of Nathaniel roll back in his head. He starts to convulse. The writing on the skin starts to rescind, and the dagger flashes this bright green light. And as quickly as it has happened for the three of you, getting into this room and watching this occur, it's over. The dagger is out of Nathaniel's stomach and in Dolus' hands.
Does any of this look familiar? Sorry.
Make a... In what way?
Like, would Eden have ever witnessed a similar type, like, similar methodology in spellcasting with her sisters?
No.
Okay.
No. This is...
Specifically the methodology, not, like, necessarily the spell, because Eden, I mean...
I'd say through sacrifices, yes, but this doesn't look like a sacrifice. The body of Nathaniel that you see in front of you is now this pale husk of a human. All muscle, almost completely gone, as if only a skeleton remains underneath the skin.
So would you say, DM, that his muscle sauce is lost?
Don't try to be funny, even though you are. I hate it.
Okay.
Is it followed by a quick "yeah" in the background?
Okay.
No.
Not sure. Mhm.
Oh no, I meant like the "yeah" from Hawaii 5-0. My bad.
Oh, okay.
The "yeah." Sorry, I did it wrong. That's my bad. I fucked up.
Okay.
The eyes are still moving and looking around the room. You can see the chest cavity is still moving. There's life and breath in Nathaniel Hawthorne still. Dolus turns to the three of you. "I have done what you've asked of me. I have tapped my father, made him immovable. Well, you can move him. He can't move himself.
Who's got the rope?
Yo,
Yo, what up, Eric? Hey, buddy.
I miss you.
I miss my big old Goliath barbarian.
Yeah, I just miss his face and his voice.
Oh my god, all the beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, as is it? Oh, he's just stuck this way.
For the rest of his life, my father will remain in this state. Yes.
May I ask you something?
You may. Whether or not I answer will be completely up to me.
It's more a matter of opinion because we seem to be in disagreement. I think those that are wicked should probably just die. Is this kind of state what you think people like this deserve?
I. Whoever told you that, don't stop. Whoever told you that is only half right. Why quickly end the suffering of somebody who is wicked when you can let it drag out over the rest of their life or all eternity? And he glances down at his father.
You see, he says quietly to Eden, there are just some people who are just fucking twisted in their belief of doling out justice.
Corvus will be approaching Nathaniel.
On a side, Eden will have wiped a smile off her face when Perrin says that.
And
Oh,
as you approach Dolus, he's standing like he was standing on one of the chairs over like to get above and like stand over Nathaniel. He'll step down from the chair and kind of just like not necessarily meet you, but stand in the space with you.
Um, I will first take because gotta keep a rope on you. I do my mage binding, which is separating the hands, but ensuring that they cannot move for somatic parts. Um, binding feet, and a I will have a gag nearby to ensure no verbal components of anything.
None of you are taking a precaution you don't need to. He very literally cannot move a muscle in his body.
Can he
except his
speak?
eyes. I don't know. And he leans over the body. Can you even understand us right now? Can you comprehend the words we are saying to you, Father? Can you give us a response? And all you hear back is like the stuff like of like somebody trying to speak, but not being able to.
You have said it that he is unable to move, nor can he speak. This is not what I requested.
Did you not want my father captured?
I don't
Is this
believe we
state
specified in our conversations, Corvus.
is this a permanent state?
You wish for him to speak. Why?
He must answer for his crimes. He must provide details of his actions.
My dear worm.
Do you know all his works, actions, efforts, and ties?
My dear worm. You are standing in his office with one who was with him for 18 or so years, and only left briefly before returning and continuing doing his dirty work. The amount of knowledge and information that I contain, the tomes I could write.
And you will do such. Every atrocity you will document, you will provide, and you will ensure that it is terminated so that your house may find some form of absolution. But my key inquiry is the involvement and connection to the previous worm.
Oh, your father. I believe your father incurred some debt with mine that led to the ultimate partnership of the worm and the hand. It's the reason why your house is, well, up until today, was in ruins. My father was slowly bleeding yours dry of all the wealth in your great hoard. And you're lucky that your brother did not assume the mantle over you. For that would have only continued.
Why? Sorry.
My father When my father saw weakness in others, he used that to his advantage. He exploited it. He used that weakness as a trap to ensnare those who meant to do good. My father was not a kind man by any means. He was cruel. And everything I've learned from him. Save the few months that I journeyed this world on my own. Deepwell would have slowly fell into chaos. And it was only a matter of time before our connection with the Underdark here knocked on the door with something that was going to knock a lot harder back. There are things in the deep places of the world. Deepwell should only go as low as needed. And the deeper we go, the more secure the lower levels need to be.
I suppose you should ensure that the rest of your house maintains that for Deepwell. And then I don't have a way to communicate with them because my sister was able to do sending to me.
Correct.
Sending
Yeah.
stone's only usable once, right?
Sending
Yeah, I think it's like
stone.
once per.
I allow it where you can, if you have a stone, you can send one message outward once. So if like 6 of you have a sending stone, you guys can all send the message to the same one person 6 times or 5 times essentially.
Okay. Yeah. So, uh, then if I assume there are no others that remain too close allegiance to your father, if the rest of yours will remain aside, then the assault upon this place will cease.
Well, do you wish Do you wish... What's the best way to word this? Do you wish a new start for the Mortal Hand?
And just so I can make sure my head canon, Mortal Hand is the official name for his family's title.
It's the organization that, like, his family is a baron under. Yes.
Got it. So the Mortal Hand is not just it's the family name, but also they've been doing criminal
No,
activity.
there's
not
no. So the Mortal
Okay.
Hand is so. Nathaniel's a weird one because the Mortal Hand is technically a like an underground organization that he brought
Yeah.
above ground, to assume the mantle, or like gain that as his like title for baronship. The Mortal or the Baron, he would be considered the Baron of the Hand. Yes,
got it. It's one of those like it's a
like
business
it's
hand as opposed to like
yeah, it's like
others
his
that have
it's like his it's like his it's like his handle, right? Like it's like his tag rather than like saying my name is Dolus blah 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 blah. Insert the rest of his name there, right? Like he says, I'm just the Baron, like I'm the Baron of the Hand, right? Like that would be the title.
got it. And if I
But
remember
like
the
if
hand,
somebody were to depose him and a new person would come up, they would obviously change their name from Baron of the Hand to
got
something
it.
that fit
And
them more.
that they are in charge of surveying the Underdark as they dig, right? Isn't that all they were really doing as their
Um,
contribution?
Antiquities, trading antiquities, and through surveying the Underdark. Yeah. But they were
Your
responsible for a lot of trade. Sorry.
the Mortal Hand, as it once were, will cease. However, it does not mean that your hand will be severed. You can continue to serve Deepwell in collaboration with each of the other barons in the open to bring the prosperity that was stolen by both our patrilineage.
What's a patrilineage? Excellent.
He really just should have said both of our fathers, but he decided to use a big word to sound important.
He is not my father. He is simply the former head of Worm, and that is all he will ever have been to me.
I just didn't know the word.
You know, Corvus, I think those words are going to come and bite you in the ass.
Oh, that's
Could-
Perrin's job, by the way. Is he always makes snarky remarks to Corvus?
Oh, no, this fucker already knows that, don't you, bitch?
And apparently you.
I am all too familiar with the manner of bards.
Good. Get fucking used to it, mate.
He like leans. After today, I don't want to see you again.
That's going to be really hard, because I'm like his right hand man. So, like, suck my fucking dick, mate.
Wait,
What? I don't understand any of this, but it sounds aggressive.
and he
to confirm. Oh, go ahead.
no, like Dolus is like the whole time like he's got a little bit of a smirk on his face. Like he's like it's not like a shit-eating grin, but like he's enjoying it. Like he's not. You can tell there's a playfulness there that is hard to see through his mostly cold and necrotic shell.
With my if I need to do an insight to discern, as it appears, Dola sincerely, as least as it seems, does wish to right the wrongs of his father and has no desire to continue that level of atrocity. Does that seem an honest, intuitive observation?
If you'd like to make an insight check.
I wouldn't, but I'll do it anyway. That's a 19.
Cool. Yeah, he seems to be telling the truth. He
Um,
seems sincere in his words.
question. You mentioned that you met somebody like me.
Yes.
It seems irrelevant at the moment, but as I feel like you're not going to want to be around us a whole bunch because people are making references to body parts.
I'm used to. I once worked with a bard who, while censored, was not dissimilar to your friend here.
Fucking weak.
So you said that you meant somebody else like me. Was it like me, or like the scary like me? Like the big meh?
Well, it was like you in the sense that it was Fey, and he takes a step closer to you and, like, eyes you. No antennae. No. Your skin is much too smooth. Continues to like walk around you. No. This is you're all wrong. Like you in the sense that it was Faye, unlike you in the sense that it was more like me than you. It was dark. It was evil. Not saying that I'm evil, I'm just saying I'm more evil than you.
Well, that's good to know.
Corvus makes a face at those words, being like, well, debatable.
Excuse me. What do you mean? I saw that.
I mean, if you caused the whole city to almost burn to the ground because of your need to escape your father.
No, all I accidentally did was I killed one of the henchmen, and I bit one dude's throat out really bad, but Corvus stabbed me for that one.
What?
In other words, she's pretty tame.
That sounds like fun.
See?
See, like looks back over.
But no, she was a hag, to speak plainly. You don't give me that kind of vibe.
Well, that's good. Okay.
So, are we gonna take the old man in his current state, or are we just gonna like sit here and ramble
Oh,
in perpetuity?
you can take him whenever you want. You said you wanted the hand completely cut off, correct? Just the one. The other can stay, yeah?
The essence of the mortal hand and their ties to this disdain of other beings and behaviors, that all ends, and all things tied to that.
So be it.
Like the races. What the.
Eden. Corvus. You hear from down the hall. What starts as the continued clamoring of battle as now whoever was pushing in is now through the walls. You hear people shuffling back toward where you guys are now to make what you would assume to be some sort of final defense before, oh, thank God, we have help. No, what? No! And the just immediate guttural growling and snarling and this just as what you can only assume to be undead attack the remaining mortal. Yeah, you got it, buddy. Attack the remaining mortal hand members and kill them.
And you wouldn't let me kill one of them.
I said not to kill this one. Motioning to Nathaniel.
You love making fucking mountains out of molehills. Can we?
Oh, you guys can leave 100% whenever you would like. The way has been fully cleared to you, and your forces should be well on the way at this point. And he. Okay, wait. What? The one time I let him in here, he snaps
Summon
his.
Lesser Steed.
Yeah, the he snaps his fingers again, and you can hear the sound of the undead receding.
Okay, thank you. Corvus, please pick up the practically deceased, decrepit being and let's leave.
Corvus, not that strong, by the way, does kind of grab to drag Nathaniel.
The body is incredibly light.
Oh,
It,
cool.
yeah, I mean, it's as if you're carrying a husk of a human, essentially.
Yeah, stiff a board, light as a feather.
Yeah,
Um, one last question.
yeah.
Do you have any good books to read?
On what subject matter?
Like rituals or fae people?
No, he doesn't.
Rituals and fey people.
Parents
I
kind of
mean,
says
I
more
have
exactly.
a couple of tomes. Sorry, couple of tomes that talk loosely of the Fae, but the writings with them in them are scattered. I don't have one complete volume. I can, if that is something you'd wish me to do for you, I can compile some of my
That
notes and send them
that
your
would
way.
be really helpful and
Is
appreciated.
there a specific Fae you had in mind?
Um, I believe let me believe it is something about like a winter queen person and specifically um
You you you
look,
you are you're being.
I'm just looking for details specifically about the winter's night is specifically something I am looking for, and any references to an archfey known by Lyrin.
I'm not familiar with Lyran.
Okay.
I may have a friend who has some connection to the queen you speak of.
No.
Let me reach out and ensure that he's still alive and not currently under her possession. And it's a long story that I can tell your friend has no time for, and I
Okay.
am not going to bore you with it.
Just compile the notes, and I've been doing a lot of reading, and also in Dolus's head. And if you have any books on rituals, I would be glad to take those as well. And Eden's like, okay, thank you so much for the information.
I would assume you guys are all kind of like turning to go at this point.
I'm imagining parents like charging
Um,
away, like
Perrin,
Uh,
screaming
you
the
Corbett.
start,
Oh,
fuck out.
Perrin and Corvus, you start to leave, and you guys like walk down the hallway and out that door. Eden, as you're making these last remarks, Dolus, takes a step forward and like goes to grab for your hand.
Eden will be shocked and not know how to respond.
He takes your hand for a moment, and then like looks down at it, realizes that he's holding your hand, and like lets go real quick. I'm sorry, that was not very professional. What I wanted to tell you was your your vase. It's of the spring court. Look for.
Thank you.
You may already know this, but look for swans.
You are the second person to tell me to look for swans and spring things now.
I've only been to the Feywild once, and we came back scrambling on our asses. So, if you do go, be careful.
Noted.
Fall and winter are not the ones to be trusted. Spring and summer are, but even then their deals are coated with a layer of lies.
I'm pretty sure one of them owns Perrin actually a little bit, but that's unclear at the moment.
I would not have
And
put it past them.
it's pretty entertaining. You should check out one of his shows.
I most definitely will not.
I mean, I get it. It can be a little vulgar sometimes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Don't double cross Corvus or it'll really suck. Thank you. It's like he's like scurries after. Hey guys, by the way, if we ever go back to the Feywild, we have to be careful apparently.
Wait, why now?
What? That's what he said. They said if we go to the Feywild that people scramble on their asses.
I
I don't want to try to conceive the context there. So, and parents just like continuing to like move.
That's Hey Corvus, real quick question then. Does this mean you're like the bourbon or whatever big time now?
Baron.
Barbo.
Yes.
Yes, he's the Babar of
Bab-
Deepo.
The Bobo.
As Eden is like clearly making faces at Perrin, like smirking.
Does that
As
mean his
Corvus
butt wings get bigger?
is looking
Oh,
for
right.
the assaulting soldiers from the Worm Guard, and particularly seeing if his sister or someone he recognized is down here.
Make
Yeah.
way for the Buttman of Deepwell.
As guards start to come in, you notice that there are a handful. I mean, most of them are members of your private force. You do see a handful of gnolls. You see one or two. You see one or two elves that are in like these darker leathers that almost shift as if a like dark night. And then the first familiar face you see of family is your brother's, who is walking sword like half bloodied, like just surveying everything. In a bit, like he's got that like shock across his face of like not having to have to kill somebody until now. But he spots you and hey, they're gone.
Yes,
There's not.
we'll continue your approach. It is done. As I'm like having Nathaniel kind of like half fireman carry on my shoulders to have a free hand still.
Do you want me to take that for you?
Thus, Nathaniel. He's officially the big Barbo now.
What? How's he?
Dolos
Why is he
now.
so? Why is he so little?
Oh, his son sucked him dry.
Uh,
I was gonna say maybe we keep the torso so maybe people don't have bad perceptions.
Well, I mean, I don't give a shit what people think about him, so just being honest.
Dolos is now in charge of what remains of his father's baronhood. The mortal hand will operate not as it had before, and all of the writings in which his father had done and the information he has learned will be given to the other barons to determine Deepwell's direction forward.
okay, that's great. Is there anything you want me to do here?
Yes. Take charge. And like Corvus will come close enough and just kind of like tap on his shoulder, reach up to the back of his head and pull close to like a forehead thing. I am proud of you, brother. You have served well. Continue to do what is right.
You see for a moment there's he's like trying to think of something to say, and his eyes like slowly well up with a little bit, and like that little just like one teardrop rolls down, and he like sniffles for a sec. Uh, um, Thank you, brother.
And then we'll lean and hand over Nathaniel. Oh, you can handle this from here. Sisters
Yes.
will ensure that all things operate between the house, the hand, and the rest of Deepwell. Coordinate with the other barons. The three of you will serve Wormhaven, and with the other barons, you will all serve Deepwell.
And what of Dolus? Is he now Baron of whatever this is?
He is what remains of the household leadership, and if they step out of line, their baronhood will be stripped. Of that, I make a personal promise. Otherwise, Dolus will give you all that you need to ensure that the father's atrocities will be removed from the stain of this city.
All right. I mean, then it sounds like we won. Yeah, that something we could say?
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, we won! And like he says that, like everybody's like, yeah, starts cheering. Like,
Corvus,
Yes.
does that mean you're going to come with us? And you're not going to try to stay here like I thought you might?
What made you think I'd stay here?
Because you have all this barbo responsibility now?
No. The house is being ran by those that have lived in it all this time.
Yeah, he's just a figurehead.
Or is it because you were going to miss us?
No.
No,
Yes,
oh
you
no.
did. Insight check.
I guarantee you, it's probably because he made an oath.
Roll me an
to
insight.
Your half-orc
Okay.
friend, but you know.
Okay, that is a natural 20 on an insight for a 27.
Rude now. Rude. No, Corvus stands still stoic as usual. But there is a tension in his posture. It's not so much that he would miss you guys, but he he seems to have been having fun. And the thought of not having fun and also the thought of being responsible for anything here sounds dreadful.
And then eventually you're going to have to admit that we're kind of fucking cool.
I will not confirm that that is even a possibility, nor will I admit such language.
I was going to say, did you know the new word? I
Lord.
found it in a book.
Sure. Whatever you want to say, Corvus, whatever makes you sleep better at night. So you handed off everything to your brother, your family's got everything here, so...
We go rest, and then we will go find your sister before she shacks up with a big half-orc.
I mean, I'd rather... We could not
That was
talk
also
about
in the
that.
book. It was in the
Was
book.
it in the book?
Yeah, it
That's a
was
very interesting concept.
because
Corvus
somebody
starts
talked
walking
about
away.
knocking. It's like Eden starts falling. There was this one book, and it got kind of spicy, so I put it down because I don't think I was really supposed to be reading it.
Did
But
it
I've been doing a
bother
lot of
your
reading.
tongue? Is that why you stopped reading?
No, they use the word spicy to refer to things of a sexual nature in the book, so I assume that's correct, right?
It's very close. But
Okay.
yes.
But also, every time I bring that up, you make this little angry face, Perrin, and it's so funny.
I just
Well,
don't
Look, your
like
face is turning red right now.
I just don't like talking about the
Corvus walks
engagements of my
faster.
sister. Like it's uncomfortable.
But it's funny to watch your face do that.
Ugh, how many gross things am I have to do today? Goodness.
Hey,
I mean,
Corvus, wait up, Corvus.
as Corvus is heading back to the manor,
Corvus
and literally,
uses his dash, his bonus action, his remaining steps of the wind.
Eden will be wild shaping into the weasel self and will be like hopping up on Corvus's shoulder. And then we'll just like lean over and like boop.
arms crossed and shrugs.
Aaron, 25 feet of movement, lagging behind. Yeah.
Yeah, and heading back to Wormhaven because Corvus needs to rest
Yeah.
to gather like his stuff because he left like his backpack and stuff. And to double check if the Horde has anything bountiful to provide before, because Corvus is like, we've got to figure out where the others are and how we're going to coordinate meeting.
Of course. You go back. You rest. There are going to be a handful of logistical things that we are going to do off stream in order to handle some of the very minute details in which allow a government to function. Also to like raid the Horde and do some other things. But all of that will happen off screen, like I said. And as you go back to the Wormhaven estate to get your rest, that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Woo!
So, thank you all for joining. We'll go quickly around the horn, and then we will go raid out to somebody who's playing something tonight. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But we'll start with Taryn, as always.
Well, hey everybody, my name is Taryn, also known as Valrook, across the socials, generally creative human, TTRPG player, queer creative from the South, help me, Eldritch Entity, and Dice Maker under the moniker of Umbral Oculus Dice. That's UO_dice on the Instagram. I have stuff in stock right now. I will be running a 50% off my current stock coming soon to celebrate the Red Hair Inn reaching fundraising goals, so do pay attention for that. Catch me on the 18th. I will be in the GM seat, GMing a one Logan and a couple of other beautiful, glorious humans through a cat-based campaign where I am throwing something of a curveball at them. So come catch me there. I've also got possibly another project that I'm looking at starting in a month or so. So we'll see.
Well, everybody, I'm your resident vulgar bard, Perrin Hopesinger. My name is Renee Beauregard. I'm one half of Dragon Rock RPG Design. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Dragon Rock RPG. You can find us on Instagram at Dragon Rock RPG Designs, where we post all of our 5e supplements that we create and stuff. You can also find them on DM's Guild just by searching up Dragon Rock RPG. There's even a one-shot adventure there that I've designed that you can get for free or money. I forget if we did that. Anyway, it's there. Go play it. Have fun. It's called The Gilded Isle. We will have new supplements coming out soon. We will release those on our socials, or we will promote those on our socials when they're released. Other than that, tip your waitresses, call your mother.
And I believe that leaves me. I'm your resident moody, broody, dark and tooty Corvus Noctiver of Wormhaven. But in case you did know me by now you do. But I'll double check. It's Jaden King at all social media at It's Jaden King. That way you can keep touch of all things I'm doing, like the Kickstarter that funded and the pre-orders are currently available. You can go to frankenstein5e.com to get the pre-orders for PDFs, hardcovers, dice maps, US only, we're sorry, among other things. And we're having an exciting experience for this narrative storytelling journey to be able to guide you through how our minds work with classic inspirations like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and a little bit of my anime references like Full Metal Alchemist and Attack on Titan, all with the mood of Edward Gorey. I said that out loud to make sure I get the correct art style that Beth is inspired by. You can check out my website for all my links at itsjadenking.com or itsjadenking.com/castle to get a link directly to D&D and a Castle to purchase a seat at my table for the epic anime storytelling at a Lumley Castle destination vacation where we go beyond the fantasy of just playing and we live one like you couldn't imagine. So see those things, do that stuff, and boop.
Thanks for the boop. And I'm your innkeeper and dungeon master, Logan Hanley. You can find me here at the Red Hair Inn, where I do we'll start to be getting into doing a bunch of stuff again after some much needed time away. Next week, on Tuesday, will be the next session of Ecriom Expeditions as we continue following Art, Fanara, and Orchid on the Cinnabon Trail in hopes of them finding the elfish city of Minfable. But other than that, you guys have first, thank you for coming to watch. Have a great holiday weekend if you celebrate. If not, just have a great fucking weekend. Stay safe and happy adventures. We're going to go raid Open Circuit Studios, who is playing Leverage. You can see the wonderful Utahime, who plays Fanara, on there. But yeah, we're going to go raid them. Go send them some love. Talk about getting lost in the muscle sauce. And we will see you all next week.